Hey guys. Okay, I think some of you maybe have started working on this, but I wanted to go over one example from each set of problems here, so you guys kind of had a better idea of what was happening. I think maybe my video yesterday wasn't sufficient enough because based on the feedback I got in class, we don't remember domain and range from Algebra 1. So that's why I wanted to spend an extra day kind of going over it. So I'm going to do an example for each one, and then you can watch it. If you have questions, please let me know. Always reach out to me if you have any questions, okay? All right, we'll look at number 2. I'll do this one with you. I'll do this one. We'll do this one, and then I want to do this one. Okay. So number 2, we're looking at, this says x is less than 6. So I'm talking about any value that's less than 6. So on my number line, I'm going to go ahead and put 6 here. I know it's on the right-hand side of 0 because 6 is bigger than 0. I'm talking about numbers that are less than. That means we're going to get smaller. So my number line is going to be drawn this way, and it's going to keep going forever and ever and ever. I want to write it in interval notation, which means I want to use parentheses and brackets. I want to have something that looks like this, or maybe like this, or like this, or like this. This is interval notation. I'm going to have numbers in each of these spots, okay? So what I'm doing is going from left to right. So on the left-hand side of my graph, let's change my color. On my left-hand side of my graph over here, I'm going to in negative infinity. Okay, this is going to keep going forever and ever and ever. It's never going to stop. So we're going to go to negative infinity. I'm always going to put a parentheses around infinity. So my interval would start with negative infinity, and then we're coming all the way to the right-hand side of my graph. On the right-hand side, I'm stopping here at 6. But I need to think about what kind of symbol do I have here. This is less than. It is not equal to, so that means I have an open circle here. Okay, since it's an open circle, I'm coming to 6. Since it's an open circle, I'm going to use parentheses. If I have an equal to symbol like this, I would use a bracket, okay? Either this way or this way, whatever you decide. Okay, so draw your picture here, write it in interval notation. This is interval notation. This is inequality notation because we have inequality symbols. This is interval notation. So inequality notation, interval. Okay, so I want you to do numbers 1 and 3. You can just write these on a piece of paper, upload a picture of your work. All right, number 7. You can draw a picture here if you want. I guess we can go ahead and do that. So we're just going to start with negative 10. Negative 10 is where I'm stopping. It's got a bracket. That means it's a closed circle. It's included in the point in the solution set. And then we're going to positive infinity. Let me change colors here so we can see this a little better. We have a closed circle, and then we're going to positive infinity, so that means we're going this way, and it's going to keep going forever and ever and ever. So I can write this out from left to right. I'm sorry. My brain just kind of went crazy. We're doing inequality notation. So this means I'm talking about x values. We're going to go in this direction, so we're getting bigger, right? So x values that are greater than, we have a closed circle, so I'm going to say it's equal to negative 10. So x values that are greater than or equal to negative 10. If we pay attention up here, when the inequality symbol is not open towards x, then we're going to have negative infinity. If it's open towards x, like we have here, then we're going to have positive infinity. Okay, so that may help you a little bit in doing these first 8 problems. Okay, let's look at number 11. So number 11, we are going to start on the left-hand side of the graph. So we have negative 3. I want to look at this point. It's open, so that means open means I'm going to use a parentheses. Then I'm going all the way to the right-hand side of the graph, which is negative 1. This point is closed, which means I'm going to use a bracket. Okay, I always remember to use a bracket. I can't remember if I said this in my notes the other day or not. To use a bracket because that means it's equal to, that means we have a solid point or a solid line. And I always think about like the top and the bottom of the bracket kind of look like an equal sign. So it's kind of just my little trick to remember. So do number 9 and 10 for me. And number 2. So now we're talking about domain and range. We're going to use the same concept from the top. For domain, we're going to go left to right. So the leftmost point, this is the point -2, 0. This is the point 2, -2. So my domain is x values. I'm going to write this in interval notation is what it tells me. So this first point is open. I'm going to have parentheses. My first x value is -2. All the way on the left, or right, all the way on the right, my x value is +2. It's an open circle again, so I'm going to have parentheses. My range, I'll do this in a different color, goes from the lowest point on my graph to the highest point. So the bottom of my graph is here, and this point is 1, -3. All the way to the highest point on my graph is up here, which is this -2, 0. So my range is down here. This is a solid line, which means I have a bracket. That point's included. It starts with -3 is my y value at that point. Range, we're talking about y values. We're going to go all the way to the top, which is 2. Talking about y values. Come on, Miss Green. Go all the way to the top. My y value at that point is 0. And that's an open circle, so I'm going to leave parentheses. You might want to make a note that for domain, we go left to right on our graph. And this is x values. For range, we go bottom to top. And this is y values. Okay? So don't worry about doing number 9. That didn't finish giving you the whole range, so don't worry about number 9. I need to write that on the note. Make sure you do, on number 7 and 8, you can just kind of draw your own graph and do that on paper. But complete this, upload your work, let me know if you have any questions.